Many years ago, the buffalo and the squirrel were very good friends. They gathered food and often farmed together. But the squirrel was very cunning and often tricked the buffalo into doing things she wouldn't normally do. You could say he was the master of mischief, and the buffalo was his unwitting sidekick. It was an unusually scanty harvest season, and the squirrel did not have enough nuts. The buffalo, on the other hand, had little trouble rustling up a few grasses here and there. "I guess I'll just have to rely on my charm," the squirrel thought, eyeing the buffalo's udder with a mischievous glint. One particularly hot day, as they were out hunting and trying to gather some food, the squirrel's stomach growled louder than a thunderstorm. He was thirsty too, and the more he looked at the buffalo's udder, the thirstier he became. "I can't wait to sink my mouth into that udder," he thought, "but she'll never let me have it." In a moment of inspiration, or perhaps desperation, he said, "I bet I can outrun you." "With those stunted legs?" she asked sarcastically, raising an eyebrow. "I can outrun you with my eyes closed." "Okay," said the squirrel, puffing out his chest. "You see those two big trees? Let's see who can get to the second one first. We'll run as fast as we can through the first tree and continue to the second one. Whoever gets there first wins." "That's easy," she replied, pawing the ground like a racehorse at the starting line. But before she could even blink, the squirrel was off like a rocket, zipping around the first tree and heading straight for the second. The buffalo, in her eagerness, charged after him. But with her size, she rammed into the first tree, getting her horns stuck like a bad hair day. "Help!" she bellowed, shaking the tree so hard that fruits rained down like confetti at a parade. The squirrel returned, grinning from ear to ear. "I told you. I'm much faster than you." "Yes," agreed the buffalo, "you won. Help me get my horns out of this tree." The squirrel tried and said he couldn't. He thought to himself, "If I do, how can I carry out my plan?" So, he cleared a small spot on the ground and lay down to rest, waiting for the buffalo to get hungry. The aroma of the fruits scattered on the ground was hard for the buffalo to resist. She tried and sniffed but could not reach any of them. When the squirrel could not hold his hunger any longer, he went to milk the buffalo, but before he could even touch her udder, she kicked him up into the tree. "Ouch!" he squeaked, shaking his head. When he recovered, he came down to try to negotiate. "There is no sense in you and I dying here of hunger. I know that you cannot wait to sink your teeth into these succulent fruits," he said, waving the fruits in the buffalo's nose. "I can neither eat the grass nor the fruits. I wish they were nuts. But you do have milk I can drink, and I can get you these fruits to eat. The way I see it, you need me more than I need you. I can just leave you here and go home. Bye." As he started to walk away, he kicked the fruits close to her far away, so that she could not reach them. "You are not really going to leave me here, are you?" asked the buffalo, her eyes wide. "Watch me," said the squirrel, as he started to walk away again, trying to suppress a chuckle. Okay, the buffalo agreed, defeated. "Get me some grass and fruits to eat, and you can have some of my milk." The squirrel went and cut some fresh grass and picked some ripe, succulent fruits for the buffalo. While she ate the grass and the fruits, the squirrel drank some of her milk and collected a bucketful to take home. "This is the best day ever," he thought, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Then, he went home, telling the buffalo he was going to get some help. When he got home, his wife prepared a very tasty porridge with the milk. The squirrel and his family, along with their guest, Mrs. Hyena, ate very well that day. "That was such a great meal," said Mrs. Hyena, licking her lips. "Where do you get such rich milk?" "My husband," answered Mrs. Squirrel, puffing out her chest with pride. "He's such a great hunter. He brings home all kinds of food. Today, he brought this rare buffalo milk. Can you imagine how he managed to milk her? Some hunter, isn't he?" After dinner, Mrs. Squirrel gave some of the porridge to Mrs. Hyena to take home to her family. When Mrs. Hyena got home, she gave her husband the porridge. He loved it so much that he wanted to know where she got it from, but his wife teased him. "Other men hunt or farm all day," she said, rolling her eyes. "They come back with big game for their wives. Sometimes they come home with rich milk, even a buffalo's, to make porridge soup. But you live around the house doing nothing. Mrs. Squirrel gave it to me." Her husband started from his farm. The hyena could not contain himself. Before the cock crowed the next day, he was at the squirrel's house, banging on the door like a kid on Christmas morning. The squirrel opened it, feigning surprise. "What are you doing here?" he asked, trying to suppress a grin. "Does it not bother you that we are neighbors and we never do anything together?" answered the hyena, looking hopeful. "Not really," replied the squirrel, eager to close the door. Wait, pleaded the hyena. How about you and I go hunting today? Just like the good neighbors that we are. The squirrel tried all he could to dissuade the hyena. He told him the idea had no merit. Hyenas only hunted in packs of their own kind. But the hyena persisted, and the squirrel had no choice but to agree to go hunting with him. The squirrel's hunt with the hyena was as fruitless as his hand with the buffalo. But the squirrel knew the hyena very well and wanted to keep his source of milk away from him. However, he was afraid that if he stayed away much longer, the buffalo might die of dehydration and starvation. So, he led the hyena to the buffalo just to check her out. How are you doing? The squirrel asked the buffalo, trying to sound casual. I have come with some help. Then get to work and free me from this, said the buffalo, her voice dripping with frustration. It had been a little over a day, and the buffalo had not been milked. Once the hyena saw her udder heavy with milk, he began to salivate like a dog at a barbecue. No sooner had the squirrel tried to extricate the buffalo from the tree than the hyena grabbed and bound him. The buffalo, sensing what was next, began to stomp the ground and bellow. Then the hyena started to milk her as she bellowed some more and kicked at him. That will not work, said the squirrel, trying to sound wise. Give her some fresh grasses and fruits to calm her down, and you may have your fill of milk. Immediately, the hyena cut some fresh grass and picked some fruits for the buffalo. As she ate, the hyena gorged his stomach with her milk and filled his bucket. This is the life, he thought, grinning like a fool. Is it fair that I should lead you to food only to be bound here to die like a criminal? Asked the squirrel, raising an eyebrow. No, replied the hyena. But life is not fair, is it? You're right. But can you at least untie me and allow me to carry your bucket for you? It is not right for a great hunter like you to carry your own food. The hyena thought about the squirrel's suggestion. The more he thought about it, the more the squirrel stroked his ego. Imagine, said the squirrel, what a reputation you will have when everyone hears how you stealthily and single-handedly pressed down the buffalo to milk her. Yeah? Asked the hyena, his eyes gleaming with pride. But you need an eyewitness, said the squirrel, winking. That did it. The hyena untied him. Hey, he said, handing the squirrel his bucket of milk. Maybe all you have some after all. When the two started for home, the squirrel took a knife and pierced the hyena's bucket, putting his own bucket under the hyena's and carrying it like that home. As they walked, the contents of the hyena's bucket slowly trickled into the squirrel's. By the time they got home, there was nothing left in the hyena's bucket, only the foamy residue. The squirrel said to the hyena, When you get home, do not let anyone greet you, for fresh milk is like a shy maiden, it will spoil when greeted like that. The hyena thanked the squirrel and went home. As soon as he opened the door, his wife greeted him. Welcome home, husband. I see you have brought home some milk. No, said the hyena. Now the milk would be spoiled. Sure enough, upon opening the contents of the bucket, all that was left was the foamy residue. The hyena was so angry and hungry that all night he tossed and turned in bed. Then he made up his mind. I will go and kill the buffalo, and we will have her meat to eat. And he went and did just that. He killed the buffalo, cut her up, and put her over the fire to cook. When the squirrel went to the buffalo, he found her missing. He saw traces of blood and immediately understood what had happened. Oh no, not my milk source, he thought, and he quickly hatched a plan to retrieve what he assumed to be his spoils. That night, the squirrel went and lay at the gate of the hyena. When the hyena's son went to lock the gate, he found the creature there lying still. Afraid, he ran back to the house and told his father, Father, there is a creature lying at the gate, it would not move. Then he sent his wife to see what he was saying. His wife went out and came back in rushing, confirming what her son said. The hyena decided to go and check for himself. He went outside and found the squirrel lying still. What good fortune! This one I did not need to lift a finger to kill, he exclaimed, and he carried the squirrel's body and placed it over the fireplace. The hyena and his family all slept off, dreaming of meat by the fireplace. When the squirrel heard the snores of the hyenas, he opened his eyes and looked around. After ensuring that they were asleep, he took the buffalo's meat and carefully carried it to his house, placing it over the fireplace and kept an eye open as he lay down in bed. The hyena woke up, searching for the buffalo's meat. When he did not find the squirrel's body either, he understood what had happened. So, he went to the squirrel's gate and lay dead. When the squirrel's son went to lock the gate, he saw a body lying at the gate still. He ran to his father to tell him about what he saw. His father told him in a loud enough voice for the hyena to hear, "Go and get my cutlass, you know, the one that cuts on its own, and throw it out there, for it to cut anything that's out there into pieces." When the hyena heard this, he quickly got up and scurried off to his own house for safety. Upon checking the gate later, the squirrel found out that the hyena had gone. He laughed and said, "When a cunning man dies, another cunning man knows how best to bury him." Thank you for listening. Do come back, and I will have another story waiting for you. Until next time.